The Sony ZV-1F is Sony's cheapest camera that you can currently buy in new condition, but the question is it worth it? This camera retails for around $498, but even at the time of recording this video, it's on sale for $398 and often goes on sale around the holiday season. So under $400 for a brand new Sony camera. But even for $400, is this camera worth it? The ZV-1F was released back in October of 2022 as a follow-up to the original Sony ZV-1, and it really solved two issues for creators who weren't satisfied with the original ZV-1, which were first and foremost affordability. Creators wanted a more budget-friendly entry-level camera for the Sony ecosystem, and they also wanted a wider focal length because the ZV-1's widest focal length was 24 millimeters, and they wanted something wider for vlogging. So one of the biggest pros for going with the Sony ZV-1F is its 20 millimeter fixed focal length. So this is wider than the original Sony ZV-1, which is great for vlogging. You don't have to extend your arm so far out to get the correct field of view and the correct composition for your shot. You can just stick your arm out, and 20 millimeters is a great focal length. The lens also has a fixed aperture value of f2.0, so this lets in quite a bit of light. It's actually going to work really well for lower light studio environments if you want to use this in your office as a webcam or a studio camera. Because of that 2.0 aperture, it's going to let in a lot of light for these lower light situations. Also, the really compact lens and body design is an awesome space saver. So whether you're on the go and you're throwing this in a camera bag or a satchel or in your vehicle, it hardly takes up any space. And it also works great as a desk camera because it's so compact. It saves a lot of space and it's not taking up too much room. Now, when it comes to image quality, I was actually really surprised when I first started shooting with the ZV-1F at how well the images look. So this camera can shoot in 4K video up to 30 frames per second and can also shoot in 1080p up to 120 FPS for super slow motion footage. And in my experience, I'm almost always using this camera in the 4K resolution at, in particular, 24 frames per second, because when I'm using this camera, it's specifically for vlogging or talking head style YouTube videos that I shoot in my studio, and 24 frames per second is typically my frame rate of choice when I'm creating those kinds of videos. And the great thing about the ZV-1F is you really don't have to think about too much when you're using this camera. It's really simplified, it's easy to use, and that's the reason they made this camera. They wanted it to be a simplified, easy experience for vloggers and content creators. They also upgraded the ZV-1F with a USB-C port over the original ZV-1's micro USB port, and this is specifically cool because you can now stream through that USB-C port. It does have a limit of 720p when you use the USB-C streaming feature. So if you want to stream in a higher resolution like 1080p or 4K, you're going to have to use an HDMI capture card to do that, but it is nice that you do have that USB-C feature. So you get all of these features, a really nice wide lens, good image quality and 4K resolutions, USB-C streaming, and all of that for under $500. So it's by far Sony's cheapest option right now. But this camera is so cheap that the question is, what did they have to sacrifice by making it so cheap? And the answer is, they honestly had to sacrifice quite a bit. So my number one issue, and by far the biggest critique that I have of the ZV-1F, is its focus breathing / hunting and these weird jitters that you get when you're using the autofocus system. So the ZV-1F uses the older contrast detect autofocus system, which basically analyzes the contrast between pixels on the sensor, and then it continually adjusts the lens until the image is at its sharpest by using this contrast detect system. So a lot of Sony's newer systems and better cameras use phase detect autofocus, which is a more reliable and accurate form of autofocus, and it just looks really clean. But this contrast detect AF tends to be slower and can also cause this focus hunting where the camera searches back and forth to achieve focus, which can lead to a jittery looking result, especially when you're recording video. And these focus jitters by far are the biggest problem that this camera has. These focus jitters create this weird movement on the edges of the frame. And because of this, some shots, in my opinion, are completely unusable because the edges have this weird hunting going on. Now, a workaround I found here to get around this focus hunting is to actually switch the camera into manual focus. So what I do is I lock off the camera and I use the autofocus to make sure that I'm in focus. And then once I see that it hits my eye or my face properly, I switch the camera into manual focus and then lock off the focus plane right there where I need it to be. This completely solves the problem of focus breathing because now the camera's not trying to hunt for focus anymore. But you would think that a camera that is this new wouldn't suffer this much with autofocus performance, and ideally you'd be able to use the autofocus reliably in the ZV-1F. But in my experience, it just wasn't that reliable. And the truth of the matter is, maybe I'm overanalyzing this a little bit and you determine that it's not that big of a deal to you. I'll be sure to leave all of these footage samples on the screen so you can check them out and you determine for yourself, is that focus breathing issue a big enough issue to warrant you going for a different camera selection rather than going with the ZV-1F. Now that's the biggest issue that I have with this camera, but there are 3 other things that the ZV-1 does that I don't love, which is first and foremost, you cannot shoot raw files in photo mode with this camera. So basically every other camera that I use when I want to take pictures, I shoot in the raw file format because then I can take those images into post-production software and edit the raw files in something like Adobe Lightroom. But the ZV-1F literally cannot shoot in the raw file format, so you can only shoot in JPEG format, which for photographers, you're not gonna love that, so the ZV-1F is probably not a great photo camera for most people. To save money, they also had to get rid of the built-in ND filter that they had in the ZV-1, and they also included in the ZV-1 Mark II later down the road. So you don't have that convenient feature of having a built-in ND filter to cut out light from hitting your camera sensor, which just helps you shoot at correct shutter speeds in outdoor environments. So you don't have that in this camera, and if you want an ND filter, you're gonna have to screw a filter onto the front of your camera lens. And the last main con of this camera is it doesn't feature a multi-interface hot shoe. So Sony's known for having these intelligent hot shoes that you can add different sorts of accessories to that are electronic accessories, but this is just a standard cold shoe. So you can, of course, plug in a microphone or other video accessories, but it's not gonna correspond and talk to the camera in the same way that a camera with a intelligent hot shoe would be able to talk to those electronic devices. So the ZV-1F does have quite a few drawbacks, and you just have to ask yourself if those trade-offs are big enough to justify you spending more for a different camera. So some people might not care about the fact that the autofocus suffers a little bit at times, or you can't shoot raw files, and they just want an easy to use vlog camera, then great. This is a fun camera to use and you're gonna enjoy using it. I personally enjoy using this camera when I do, but for others, you might feel like you're sacrificing too much in terms of performance for the reduced cost. And if you were able to just save up an additional $100 to $200, you could get some better options like the original Sony ZV-1, which in my opinion is a much better camera, or you can even look at some interchangeable lens cameras like Sony's original ZV-E10, or even cameras from other companies like Nikon, Canon, or DJI, who all have viable entry-level options for around $600 that even come with a kit lens. So who do I think the ZV-1F is for? Well, in my opinion, it's for beginners and casual vloggers who want an affordable, straightforward camera to capture good quality video without the need for complex settings and features. It's ideal for those who really don't mind a few trade-offs in exchange for a compact, budget-friendly camera that's easy to pick up and start recording. Now, if you see this review and think you might be interested in some other camera options, you'll want to see our top 7 camera recommendations for YouTube beginners that cost under $1,000. So you can click or tap the screen right here to check out that video, and I'll see you in the next one.